This is Ben Lamort, and welcome back to the 20 something Toolkit. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. Again, based on feedback, it's enough of my framework ideas. So instead of talking about more tools in the 20 something Toolkit, I want to actually walk you through a real coaching case with permission, of course. I've changed the details, so we're going to call her Rebecca. Rebecca, she's about to graduate with a psychology degree. Now, like many people in their early 20s, guess what? She's facing this question, which is really both exciting but also overwhelming. Like, what should I do with my life? I don't really know if I have a clear direction. I mean, I'll tell you from my experience talking with her, Rebecca is a bright, thoughtful, and capable student who's about to graduate. And sure, she's unclear about her direction. And I tried to say, look, we're all unclear about our direction, right? I mean, that's totally normal. She really likes working with people. She loves to dance and perform, and she also likes research and psychology. But she knows what she doesn't want also. She doesn't want to get one of those jobs where you're just doing the same old thing at a desk or a highly routine job where there's, let's say, very little human interaction. So she's actually not lost. I would say she's open to looking at new opportunities, and that can be a good thing. But the real challenge is identity more so than career, because early in the session, it became really clear that Rebecca's challenge wasn't about choosing, let's say, this job or that job. Her challenge was deeper. Who do I want to become now that I'm going to be graduating from college? And so we talked about the idea of identity capital, right? The concept that I borrowed from Meg Jay's Defining Decade. It's everything that you accumulate in your 20s that builds your desired future state, right? Or even maybe not your desired future state. If we go back to my episode where I became the spreadsheet guy, where I spent all my time building spreadsheets and I got really good at it and I developed identity capital there, even though I guess I never really signed up to become the spreadsheet guru. It just sort of happened. And that's why identity capital is everything that you have in terms of your skill set. And it's a good kind of identity capital if it can either help you get a job or, even more importantly, help you become yourself. So in my case, the spreadsheet skills was not helping me to become myself. It was helping me to get a job. Anyway, back to Rebecca. So she is going to, I told her, I said, you don't necessarily need to worry so much about only doing stuff that gets you money. Yes, you should make money because that's all a requirement of being in the modern economy. And you shouldn't try to necessarily find the perfect job. There isn't just this one perfect job out there. But you're going to want to build up your experiences so as to expand your future options, and you're going to want to go in a direction that you want to go. And the thing is, what we discovered was that Rebecca feels more alive when she's interacting with people. It turns out she was actually welcoming the new students who were touring her school, like newly admitted students who were checking it out to see if they wanted to go there, or doing the freshman tour or what have you. And she was really good at welcoming these people who were kind of disoriented or sort of confused about what to do. She made them feel at ease. She's in a performance mode. She feels great when she's just on the stage dancing or doing drama. She just comes to life and she's in a zone. She maybe has a little bit of stage fright before going on the theater or stage, and that's totally normal. But once she's out there, she's just in a flow. And she likes to be part of something meaningful, like working with a minority community or something along those lines. But if it's work that's repetitive and it's just the same old thing, she doesn't like it. If it's work that totally disconnects her from people, probably not going to like that. So in other words, she actually has pretty good self-insights. And so she wants to, help people. She wants to work with, maybe even do research in psychology. She wants to explore working on a master's degree. Now, where we left off was, instead of saying, well, what job should I get? I thought it was interesting. She kept saying, I get these jobs in my email, always offering the jobs, but they're always for tech and engineering. Even though I tried to filter those out, it just seems like only jobs in my area are for tech and engineering. What am I going to do? I'm a psychology major. My first thing was delete the mail. Get off the email list. It's got to be frustrating to get those emails, and it's kind of strange that they would keep doing that. So then I said, well, rather than asking, well, what kind of job should I get right now? It's what kind of life and work fits who you are, right? Because Rebecca's strengths in working with people, that could translate into an area like human resources. And the whole point is those tech companies, those engineering companies, they still need people in human resources, right? Or maybe people development, or maybe organizational psychology. Lots of different ways you can build off that identity capital from psychology. What really got me was when she said, well, I love dance. I mean, I'm not good enough to be a professional dancer, but I think dance is really important to me. And that's really where my friends are. I make really good friends when I'm dancing. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me about that. She's like, well, I'm in a dance club at school. We're competing this like next week and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you're actually pretty good. I mean, if you're in a dance club and you're competing, yeah, I get it. You're not a professional dancer, but you're probably way better than most people. And you love it. And that is so important to pay attention to. Now, what I did was we talked about how, okay, you can go into a state of flow when you're dancing. Wow. Okay. Now that's so important. Like you just don't want to turn that part of yourself off. I guess you could get a job that doesn't involve dance at all, but then you're going to have to be very proactive about making sure dance is still part of your life. I'm in the back of my mind thinking, wait a minute. I wonder if you can incorporate dance into your work. Look, I get it. When you get the emails coming in from the job boards, they're not saying, hey, don't you want to come and dance at our tech company? They're like, we want you to program computers or do AI or whatever, or sit in front of a desk. And the thing is, those are the jobs that Rebecca doesn't want. So instead of just, going on to say, hey, figure this out and, oh, well, you can't become a professional dancer, so do something else. We started talking about like, I threw this crazy idea out there. I said, what if you went to one of these tech companies? And I'm not recommending you do this, but like based on your values from what I'm hearing so far, what if you tell them that you want to work in HR, you have a psychology background, you're really good with people, and you've onboarded people, that's like the HR word, right? I've onboarded new students into my university and welcomed them and I make them feel at ease. And I love to do that. I'm a real people person, majored in psychology. I mean, you're starting to sound like a good HR profile person. But then to just put it right over the top, you throw in your unique strength about, oh, by the way, I'm in this dance club and it's really fun. People love it. It's really great for the 20 somethings in my college. I could organize as part of my job at HR a dance night every Wednesday for our company. And we could invite everybody. It'd be a social event. And I would give lessons. And hey, I can even invite my friends who are in the dance club at my nearby college or what have you. And we can really make this into a fun thing. You see, the thing about that is that's not one of the options on the emails that are coming to you from the jobs that are on the menu of life. You're starting to think about what you value, what skills you have, what is your identity capital that you want to develop even further. Because imagine if you could get paid to do what gives you joy, that puts you into a state of flow. That is really nirvana if you can do it. And what I guess I learned from this coaching session with Rebecca is that it's unlikely that somebody's going to knock on your door and say, hey, here's a job opportunity for you that just happens to match your values. You're going to have to use your values to go out and find a way to create the job or find, basically narrow the search down to find the job that works for you. The best part of the session for me was when at the end, Rebecca said, I said, well, what do you really want help on? And she said, you know what? It feels like it's overwhelming, like there's just too many options. And what I want your help on is to narrow my search. I want it to be more focused. I said, Rebecca, you've already taken that first step. What we need to do as a next step with you is get you to nail down your values. What are the things that you just love? And you've already done that. We talked about it. You're great with people. You also know you don't want to sit in front of a desk the whole day, right? That's huge. Knowing your values is as much about knowing what it is you want as what you don't want, because then you can build the identity capital in the direction of the things that you do want. So for you, Rebecca, it just really would be a disaster if you ended up getting the job I got where you're building spreadsheets all day, 9 to 5. That would just be such a waste of who you really are and who you want to become. Whereas if you could somehow find a way to keep a bunch of your friends from the dance club, maybe go to a big city and pitch the idea of, hey, wait, maybe you start your own company and you just do dance nights at tech companies and you orchestrate those as social events. I mean, why not, right? You're good with people. Why not push yourself and create your own opportunity? So again, we've only had one session, so it's not like I can recommend all these things for Rebecca, but wow, where is this going to go? I'll keep you posted as long as Rebecca's okay with me sharing more of these details. And all I can tell you is now it's your turn. Based on this episode, I want you to think about, where do you really feel most alive and engaged? What is it that you're doing that maybe isn't something that's totally obviously relating to making money, but that you just love to do? And what are the kinds of things that drain you, right? Is it sitting in front of a desk working on data science? Is that draining? Or hey, maybe it's sitting in front of a desk is giving you energy, But if you had to go out and dance, that would be like the worst thing possible, right? This is all about you figuring out who you are. Are you waiting around, or are you taking steps to intentionally build the identity capital that is going to make you into your future self that you're becoming? What is that identity capital that you're building right now? I want you to write it down. I want you to think about the patterns that are going on with where you feel that you're going into a state of flow, where you feel like you're just going in the wrong direction. And I want you to think about where you're building that identity capital. That's a lot. I'm asking a lot, but I want you to play with these ideas. And if you want to get a session with me, remember, I'm Ben at 20something.tools, and that's with a 20 something.tools. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.